Hello and to another show. So today we're checking out a shadow deck. So this video again is following the same suit of videos that we've been doing for the last few, and that is some classic decks. This in particular being mid-range ShadowCraft. Demon Lord, Shadowverse, we're running Throth in this one, a Grammary, all, three ofs pretty much needed. Throth, you could probably get away without Throth, to be honest, as it's good, but it's not mandatory. It's just a really solid card, both early and in the late game, so it's an all-rounder. But everything else in the deck is pretty damn mandatory, as it's extremely powerful and works extremely well. As far as newer cards for mid-range went, that is just the Throth and probably the Helio. Everything else is classical as far as it goes, as mid-range Shadow is just still really good and unlimited, and a really good one to climb with, similar to Daria Rune, except of course this is much more expensive. So we're going to get right into this and check it out. So the first game we're taking a look at here is against Blood. A lot of people like playing Blood at the moment in Unlimited. Rune is still probably the most popular, but Blood's a very close second, I would say, in the Unlimited, at least for popularity. As far as being a good deck, it definitely is, but I've definitely found that things like Rune, in particular, really counter Blood quite hard if you're playing Daria. But because most Blood is expecting to go up against other kind of Rune decks, you usually don't have to worry about that. But in Shadow's case, it's a bit of a mistake just because it's hard to know what you're going to do for this one. You can only really go so fast with Shadow. Usually turn 6, turn 7 is your big turns. And by that point, Blood can be quite dangerous. Rune, of course, has a similar problem, but at least Rune can make up for it by removing a lot of Blood's value cards very easily. Shadow doesn't really have that luxury of removing as many value cards. Our big advantage is that we can flood the board quickly, which does allow us to at least take out a lot of things. Unfortunately, Lurching Corpse here was a perfect top deck, as Soul Conversion Lurching Corpse is a great combination for removing things. Plus, it allows us to hit face for 1 damage. Brings it down to 13 instead of the 14 they would have been left at. And they're going to take a decent chunk of damage now. Probably going to look at putting themselves in Vengeance or waiting for another Forest Summon maybe. Personally, not the best idea considering our current board state. Although I did make a mistake here. I should have probably just went full on damage mode and left the Florist up. Although, would it have been worth taking that risk? Maybe not. I did decide to put them back in Vengeance again and go for the Grammary just for board space, because I do plan on going for Cerberus. So just in case they manage to take out 1 or 2, which in this case they're going to wipe the board, but just in case, I wanted to have stuff on board. Plus, it really wasn't a big worry because we still, again, have the Cerberus play next turn, and actually, we don't even need the Cerberus, I forgot. With the Lich Summon, that's actually just going to be straight up game. I'm guessing they completely missed that as well. I forgot that was actually set up, so that worked wonders for us. The Lich Summon, instant win there. Surprise attack with Lich. Lich definitely makes for a surprise there, that's for sure. I usually wouldn't worry about it, but when that pops up like that and you're like, wow, okay, I just straight up have lethal now that early in the game. That's great. It's where Helio actually comes in quite good. Sometimes even you forget that Helio is active. If you forget, the opponent's bound to, so it's actually a good hand. Early Skull Beast is always one of the best turn 1 plays for this deck. Into a very early either Lurching or Andro is really good. Can very easily expand this, especially with Lady Grey. Like, we could slam Lady Grey next turn, maybe with the Skull Fighter, but it's not really necessary. And it looks like we're going up against a discard. Oh, interesting. So really, we just want to slam the board and hit face as much as possible before turn 6, before they can really start discarding all their hand. Unfortunately, Sword doesn't tend to handle well against Flood when they're playing discard. Like, they're doing alright right now, but like they're going to be taking a lot of damage very, very quickly. And I don't even have a real need to use Soul Conversion, although using it isn't going to hurt, so the extra draw is pretty valuable here, as I do want to reach a big hitter as fast as possible. Alright, Accolade, no problem. The Evo for the Goblin Mage, again, not a problem. They are going to take out the Lady, which is a bit disappointing, because I would have liked to have Evo'd Lady, but That's okay, we top decked a second one, so I mean, why not? And I did decide to go for it this time, mainly because I can. And because we don't really need a lot to win this game now. They're going to have to waste at least 2 more turns yet, 5 and 6, to actually go for their win conditions. So they're definitely going to be wasting a lot of value. And since we did go first, we should have the edge as far as timing goes. Now I get a nice chance for the peacock, although I probably should have waited and played it after so I could go for extra draw. And of course, all face made perfect sense. They're finally on their turn 6. We do get a Gremmery, which is okay, but not the best. And they went for the Great Shield, which means they're going to have to burn at least 1 more turn before they can actually go for anything crazy. Unless they're going to rely on this Armor of the Stars, which honestly isn't going to do a lot to us right this second. We really do need some way to deal with it though, and Lurching Corpse is really our only option. Because we can't actually hit face yet. It's going to be tough, that's for sure. Unless we can draw into a soul conversion or something of the sort. We're really in a tough spot. The only real bonus we've got right now is that our whole board looks good. But it is pretty well protected, so... And unless their 1-1 there actually gets a buff, it was going to be tough. But they ended up conceding. They obviously decided they couldn't get over those Lurching Corpses in time, especially with Demon Lord next turn. So last game was definitely at a kind of stalemating section of the game, but I definitely think we could have beat over them over time, especially with the Lurching Corpses in the end. It only would have taken a good swing with the Lurching to actually win, so I can see why they'd give up. Now we're going up against Runecraft. Another really nice hand though. Skull Beast, Shadow Reaper, Lady. They're all really good plays here. In particular the Skull Beast on turn 1 into the Shadow Reaper, and then possibly going for the turn 4 Lady maybe would be really nice. If they wipe out our Shadow Reaper. Though that return definitely hurt us. It's not something you want to take, so Lurching Corpse it is, since we don't really have anything else to play now. Shikigami summons, alright. That leads me down the path of thinking that it's probably going to be focusing on a dimensional shift. Alright, Clark summon, Verdict Ritual, that's fine. Damage to face, leaving up my board works good for me. We did end up getting the Gremmery, so we do just need to buy time now. And I go for the Lurching Corpse Evo because then they have to beat over something that's going to kill something, so works for me. Plus they can't easily pick it up for the spell now. So we do get the extra little bit of value out of it there. And it looks like they're doing pretty well as far as damage goes though. Like, this is actually pretty harsh. The only real advantage we have now is the fact that taking out this board is probably our biggest goal. And we can use the little Soul Squasher to our advantage, so that should be fine. I wish I had thought about that before Lady, but I mean, Soul Squasher, that'll do the job. Plus, I mean, we actually still get the Lady because of the way the Evo works, so that actually worked out fine, plus the heal, so now it's just a matter of what can they play this turn. Can they kill us? Which, considering they went all in just then, like, it should mean they don't have too many crazy plays left. Although these Zealots are definitely threatening. I mean, one more Zealot play and that would finish us off. Oh, Twin Blade, it's not enough. Now I know why they did that. Oh, that's definitely gonna hurt your morale right there. Alright, Cerberus it is. I should have went with the Skull Beast play so I could get the extra Cerberus value here. That was definitely a mistake. And I was forced to leave up the 2/2s as I don't have any other removals, so it's really just a hope of, hey, can they not find 4 more damage? And this Daria gives me some hope that they can't find that damage. But fortunately, that worked out for us. Whew. It was definitely a close one though. It was definitely a, oh, can they kill me this turn? So all in all, a very solid deck. Mid-range Shadowcraft does its job quite well. It is a little on the expensive side as far as legendaries go, but it's a fun deck. If you've liked mid-range Shadow in the past, you'll still like it now. It still performs really well, and actually performed almost on equal footing to my Daria as consistent. I did find I had a few more losses spaced out between most of my wins, but I was still getting a very positive win rate. So still a really solid deck. If you guys are interested, be sure to check out the decks in the description below. Until next time, guys, see ya.